Learn Hindi tech vocabulary, reliability to maintenance with,
विश्वसनीयता,
and.
रखरखाव,
Welcome to the gloriously broken office. Hey, you are about to learn Hindi through a tiny comedy disaster. Relax, laugh, and repeat the Hindi words out loud with me. Welcome to Byte Bazaar, the only office where the coffee machine thinks it is senior management. On Monday morning, the boss shouted, "We need more reliability," and everyone nodded seriously while the printer burst into confetti. In Hindi, reliability is.
विश्वसनीयता,
The intern whispered, "Our bridge of trust must be strong," which sounded poetic for someone who had just stapled his sleeve to a report. Then the project manager demanded stability, because the wobbly table was doing more dancing than the employees. Stability in Hindi is.
स्थिरता,
After that, the yoga-loving designer insisted the team also needed flexibility, because plans changed every 6 minutes and half the chairs squeaked in protest. Flexibility is.
लचीलापन,
By lunch, someone discovered the new charger did not fit the old laptop. A tragedy. A betrayal. A tiny electronic soap opera. So the engineer yelled, "Check compatibility first." Compatibility is.
संगतता,
The startup founder then gave a dramatic speech about scalability, because if 5 users already broke the app, 5,000 users would probably summon actual lightning. Scalability is.
मापनीयता,
Meanwhile, a sleepy worker entered the wrong numbers 3 times, proving the process had serious susceptibility to errors, which in Hindi is.
त्रुटि प्रवणता,
Luckily, one clever system stayed alive even when one part failed. That superpower is fault tolerance.
दोष सहिष्णुता,
And finally, the old elevator stopped with a sigh that sounded personal. Why? It needed maintenance, or.
रखरखाव,
Congratulations. You have just met the whole vocabulary team, and honestly, they need supervision. Meet the vocabulary crew. Now let's turn these abstract words into memorable characters. If they become a little ridiculous, that is excellent for memory. Captain.
विश्वसनीयता,
Always arrives on time, wears matching socks, and never says, "Oops, I forgot." He is reliability in human form. Lady.
स्थिरता,
Stands like a mountain during chaos. Even when the meeting room explodes into opinions, she does not wobble. That is stability. Professor.
लचीलापन,
Can bend schedules, ideas, and probably spoons. He adapts when plans change. That is flexibility. Detective.
संगतता,
Checks whether things work together. Cable with laptop, app with phone, person with team, tea with biscuits. That is compatibility. Giant.
मापनीयता,
Starts as a tiny app in a tiny room and grows into a giant platform without screaming. That is scalability. Gremlin.
त्रुटि प्रवणता,
Loves messy forms, sleepy typing, and buttons labeled, "Do not press." It makes mistakes more likely. That is susceptibility to errors. Hero.
दोष सहिष्णुता,
Keeps the service running even when one server faints dramatically onto a beanbag. That is fault tolerance. Mechanic.
रखरखाव,
Carries a toolbox, cleans parts, tightens screws, and saves everyone from preventable disaster. That is maintenance. Mini story with maximum chaos. Listen to this story like a short audiobook scene. Try to notice each Hindi keyword when it appears. At Byte Bazaar, the team launched a new app called Goat Cloud. Nobody knows why it was called Goat Cloud. There were no goats. There was not even a cloud. On the first day, only 10 people used it, and the founder proudly said, "Behold our."
मापनीयता,
Everyone clapped politely because nobody wanted to ask why 10 users required a speech. Then user number 11 logged in, and the app froze like a student asked to explain homework. So the engineer said, maybe we discussed scalability before breakfast but did not actually build.
मापनीयता.
Quote. Next, the support team noticed random mistakes in customer data. One employee had entered birthday, bicycle number, and sandwich preference all in the same field. That, dear listener, showed high
त्रुटि प्रवणता.
The manager cried, we need more.
विश्वसनीयता.
The table shook. The projector blinked. The office plant looked concerned. A calmer voice said, first we need.
स्थिरता.
The server cannot sit on 3 books and a lunchbox forever. Then the designer added, and some.
लचीलापन.
If users change their needs, we should adapt instead of panicking like Victorian ghosts. The tech lead checked every cable and muttered, where is the charger with?
संगतता.
Who bought this mystery cable from a shop called Probably Works? Suddenly, one machine failed, but the backup system took over. The whole room gasped. The intern whispered, is this magic? The engineer smiled and said, no. This is.
दोष सहिष्णुता.
Quote. Finally, the oldest machine in the office coughed, buzzed, and displayed a message that simply read, please respect my.
रखरखाव.
Honestly, fair enough. Useful sentences you can actually say. Let's make the words practical. Repeat each sentence after me and enjoy sounding impressively technical. Reliability is important at work. In Hindi.
काम पर विश्वसनीयता महत्वपूर्ण है.
The bridge needs stability to remain safe. In Hindi.
पुल को सुरक्षित रहने के लिए स्थिरता की आवश्यकता है.
Yoga can improve flexibility. In Hindi.
योग लचीलापन बेहतर कर सकता है.
Check the compatibility before buying the charger. In Hindi.
चार्जर खरीदने से पहले संगतता जांचें.
Scalability is important for a growing app. In Hindi.
मापनीयता एक बढ़ते हुए ऐप के लिए महत्वपूर्ण है.
Fatigue increases susceptibility to errors. In Hindi.
थकान त्रुटि प्रवणता बढ़ाती है.
Fault tolerance keeps the service running during failures. In Hindi.
दोष सहिष्णुता विफलताओं के दौरान सेवा को चलती रखती है.
The machine needs regular maintenance. In Hindi.
मशीन को नियमित रखरखाव की आवश्यकता है.
Quick dialogue drill. Now you get a fast dialogue section. Imagine these lines in a film where the server room has more drama than the actors. A. Can we trust this system? B. Yes, it's.
विश्वसनीयता.
Is excellent. A. Why is this table still shaking? B. Because it has no.
स्थिरता.
A. Our plan changed again. B. Then we need.
लचीलापन.
Not a panic parade. A. Will this cable work with my laptop? B. Only if there is.
संगतता.
A. Can the platform handle 1 million users? B. That depends on its.
मापनीयता.
A. Why are there so many mistakes? B. Because the process has high.
त्रुटि प्रवणता.
A. One server failed. Why is the app still alive? B. Thank.
दोष सहिष्णुता.
A. Why is the elevator closed? B. For.
रखरखाव.
Ridiculously serious memory tricks. You do not need boring memorization. Let's glue each word to a silly image so your brain can stop pretending it is too busy. 4.
विश्वसनीयता.
Imagine a clock winning an award for never being late. The trophy says reliability. 4.
स्थिरता.
Picture a wobbly table doing yoga until it becomes perfectly calm and balanced. 4.
लचीलापन.
Imagine a bamboo stick bending in the wind and smiling like it knows a secret. 4.
संगतता,
See two puzzle pieces snapping together with romantic movie music. 4.
मापनीयता,
Imagine a tiny app stretching into a skyscraper without breaking a sweat. 4.
त्रुटि प्रवणता,
Picture a nervous robot typing and producing 3 typos, 1 pizza order, and a weather report by accident. 4.
दोष सहिष्णुता,
Imagine a superhero server wearing a cape and surviving flying bugs, sparks, and dramatic music. 4.
रखरखाव,
Imagine a mechanic polishing a machine so lovingly that the machine blushes. Tiny quiz, big confidence. Time for a quick challenge. Answer before I do, and if you get one wrong, congratulations, you are still learning like a champion. What is the Hindi word for reliability? Answer.
विश्वसनीयता,
What is the Hindi word for stability? Answer.
स्थिरता,
What is the Hindi word for flexibility? Answer.
लचीलापन,
What is the Hindi word for compatibility? Answer.
संगतता,
What is the Hindi word for scalability? Answer.
मापनीयता,
What is the Hindi word for susceptibility to errors? Answer.
त्रुटि प्रवणता,
What is the Hindi word for fault tolerance? Answer.
दोष सहिष्णुता,
What is the Hindi word for maintenance? Answer.
रखरखाव,
Friendly wrap up. You made it through the comedy, the chaos, and the vocabulary. That means your Hindi is already getting stronger. Today you learned reliability as,
विश्वसनीयता,
stability as,
स्थिरता,
flexibility as,
लचीलापन,
compatibility as,
संगतता,
scalability as,
मापनीयता,
susceptibility to errors as,
त्रुटि प्रवणता,
fault tolerance as,
दोष सहिष्णुता,
and maintenance as.
रखरखाव.
Thank you for learning with me. Keep practicing these words out loud, use them in tiny sentences, and come back tomorrow before the office printer develops feelings again.